Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my top 5 favorite books that I've read during the summer. So June, July, August, I tried to choose 5 books that I loved the most. 3 technically that I really liked, and then there's 2 special mentions, technically 3 special mentions. I didn't read a lot of really great books this year. I feel like, especially during the summer, I was a little bit in a slump, even though I technically finished, I believe, like 28 books, something a bit ridiculous like that. But I kept reading kind of meh books and then some really bad ones, but I did want to give another shout outs to my favorite ones. So let's go to my top 5. Number 1, easily The Poppy War, one of my new favorite fantasy series. It's technically only the first book, and I believe the second book is already written. It's currently being edited, so I'm being very hopeful here. Love this book so much. I need to put trigger warnings for absolutely everything you can think of. It is inspired by The Killing of Night King, so it gives you a little bit of an idea how dark it gets. But I love the magic system. I love that there's no romance. There are some like love interests, but absolutely nothing happens. I just wanted to mention because I got some comments saying like, oh, you said there was no romance. There's no actual romance, like nothing happens, which I'm okay with. The world building and the magic system especially super interesting. There's a magical school. Basically, my character has a really poor living life. She's an orphan and she's living with some relatives that are not nice to her. And to try and avoid a forced marriage, she's studying really hard to pass for an exam to make it to the specific school where she will learn how to become a captain or general or something in the army. And I mean, I already kind of said it, magical powers. So school setting, especially magical school, is like a guarantee I'm going to read it. So if you are like me, definitely recommend this. Loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars, and I don't give 5 stars easily. It basically never happens. So you already know this is one of my favorite books of the year. Will easily be in my top best books that I've read this year. I also wanted to talk about this one, which is The Storied Life of A.G. Fikri by Gabrielle Zevin. And this I read when I was like at the peak of my slump, and I was reading it, trying to read it for the booktubeathon, and I actually did read it. I shouldn't say try to. And this is technically out of my comfort zone. It's not something I usually read a lot of, which is contemporary. And it's like a book that gives you all the feels, which I try to avoid the feels usually when I go to a book. In this book, you're following a character who is a widow, and one day a little girl is left at his store, and he's basically ended up adopting her, and it's just such an adorable book. The main character is also the owner of a bookstore, so if you like little town bookstores, this is the type of books that I would recommend for you if you want all the feels. Like, it will make you laugh, smile, and cry. It was just a whole ride. In a short book too. It's like 250 pages, so if you're looking for a little book to help you out of reading slump, or you just want something a little bit different, I recommend this. Loved it. The next book was part of my challenge this year to read more big books, and this is also a classic, so big classic. Although I think it's mostly the edition that makes this book this big, because my edition has almost 600 pages and I feel it's a bit high for what it is. But Emma by Jane Austen. I read the book and then watched the BBC series, and do it. Just do it. So good. Jane Austen is really great at writing characters that are a little silly. It makes you kind of laugh at the same time. The main character is someone that she loves to play matchmakers and just match people together. She has no intention personally to get married because her mom died and she lives with her dad, who loves her, so she's basically already the owner of that house. And you will get secondhand embarrassment because she tried to like match someone that might not be supposed to be matched with someone else, and you're like cringing and you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? And it's totally worth it. So again, definitely read the book, or at least watch the BBC series. Every time Jane Austen comes out with a book, wouldn't that be weird? I meant every time I read a Jane Austen book, then I try and find if BBC has a series for it, because they always do the best job at it. Same thing with Pride and Prejudice. It's the best version of all the versions, and same thing with this. It was so good. I recommend it like so much. So good. So funny, so cute, so everything. Again, we'll give you all the feels. I definitely had like cringing moments, but like purposely, obviously. Next is a sci-fi. All the Systems, read by Martha Wells. This is a really, really short book. Like, we're talking 150 pages, where you're following a character who is like half robot, half human. Kinda. So since you're following the story through their eyes, It kind of is written quite fast-paced. There's not a lot of details in there, which I have no issue with. If you're someone that really focuses on the writing, this wouldn't be necessarily something that you would enjoy, but I laughed. I thought a main character was really funny to follow because they don't really like humans. They just don't like to spend time with people. They find a way to get access to TV shows and everything, and they just want to binge watch TV shows instead of interacting with people, which I feel like we can all relate sometimes. So yeah, I don't want to say anything else. Just read a book. I did read a second book too, and I didn't enjoy it, sadly. So I recommend the first one at least, and if you like it, maybe give the second one a shot. I am planning on trying the third one to see if it improves, because the main character, it was just a story in the second one that was really slow paced, so love this though. The last book in the official top 5 is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I had not read Jurassic Park ever, which I feel like everyone has, or at least I've seen a movie, but like years ago, and I was totally traumatized as a kid because, oh my god, dinosaurs are scary. And the book definitely did not change that. I loved how focused it was on the science too. In my Goodreads review, I literally say in the beginning that the moral of this story is that kids are annoying as hell and will get you killed. And I stand by my statement because holy hell, the kids in the books were driving me mental. I feel like for me it's kind of a recurring thing because I feel like every time I read like a post-apocalyptic or something book, the kids drive me crazy, and I know it's probably purposely, like the kids either would actually react that way in real life, and I don't blame them. Like, dinosaurs are going after you. But at the same time, if it were me, stuck with kids that will not stop talking and screaming and everything when there are dinosaurs coming for me, I will leave them. Like, I'm sorry. I don't understand how the guy was this patient with them, because I would be scared. I'm absolutely still terrified. Like, I feel like I got a new fear now of dinosaurs. Not that I wasn't afraid before, but I feel like this got it a little too real. It was really like tense at some points, and that is definitely one of the things that stuck to me. I have a new fear. The kids were super annoying. The grandfather of the kids was so not stressed about the whole situation. So not stressed. And I love how there were more details of science in the book than the movie. So yes, totally recommend the book, but damn. Oh. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to this book because I only read part 1. There is a part 2 in a different book. This is Le Comte de Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And I do think it's one of the best books that I've read, but since I've only read half technically of the whole story, I didn't think it was fair to include it. / I prefer the first part over the rest, to be honest. I feel like it got a bit slow and it started picking up towards the end, so I'm hoping the second part is going to be better. But yes, I really enjoyed the first like 400 pages, so I do think I need to give it a shout out. If you're looking for an epic revenge story, it's good. So those are my top 5 / 6 books that I read this summer. Let me know in the comment section if you have read any of these, what you thought about them. What are the best books that you've read this summer? Which ones would you recommend? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any future videos. And I will be putting on the screen other ones that I've done that I recommend you check out. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.